Hello everyone, it's Chris here from the Atlantic Underground podcast. Sometimes I think things go off the rails. Sometimes I think that we can be flooded with so much information that it saturates things to the point where it's no longer recognizable. Right now, what really kind of triggered my thoughts about this has been this movie that's coming out called The Sound of Freedom, with the actor Jim Caviezel being the main character in it. And when you look at the movie picture, or you go and watch the preview of the movie, the trailer itself, you'll see that it's a story based on a true story where many people go after child traffickers, and in a bid to free the children that are being taken around the world and enslaved in such a way. What kind of bothers me, it's not the content of the movie. I think it's a very pertinent time in history, considering what we're seeing with the sexualization of children and the whole movement for children to change the sexes and become very confused about life. I think that this is a very dark time in our lives where the sexual predators and the darkness that sits behind the child trafficking is also making very concerted efforts to push the likes of this upon everyone, and they're using government, many organisations, many corporations around the world to do so. And I think it's a time where there's a lot of people now where the fuse has been lit and they are ready to take action and to highlight this and to stop it. And I think this movie is coming out at a very perfect time to continually accelerate the actual information and the awakening of so many people around the world to what has been hidden for so long. But what I'm getting so many people that are writing to me, sending me links and commenting on what's going on in regards to trying to expose the movie itself as a fraud, and the kind of way off really where we intend this to go. You see, the movie is the igniter in the minds of many people, and anything that can make people want to look further into this, and any kind of authorities and groups are being pushed to come up with results to stop this, I see as a win, and I see as something positive. But within the freedom movement, I think that too many people now, especially after 3 years of what we've just gone through, has awoken so many people up to so many things that they are absolutely immersed in so many of what people would consider to be conspiracy theories. And they are going down rabbit holes so deep that they are coming up with videos and information, and it's become its own movement of people supporting each other in regards to putting this message out there. And I receive a lot of things, and I see a lot of things out there now that just aren't researched enough. They're just seeing a video, immediately they think it's true, and immediately they put that out on social media or start sending it out to people. And if we question it, and if we don't believe it, all of a sudden we're the bad people. What people need to realise, I've been going down rabbit holes since I was 9 years old. I was looking into things before the internet even existed. So my research was books and paperwork and whatever I could get my hands onto. And it's not been every day of my life since then. I've drifted in and out of it all my life through many different ages, but I've always come back to it. And once the internet emerged, yeah, it was a fantastic tool for research and understanding things. But it's a double-edged sword. And this double-edged sword means that the information that you get from it can be good and useful, but it can also be bad and very deceiving and take you down some paths that really nobody should be going down. Because it's just going to contaminate everything that people are trying to do. You see, it's going to contaminate your mind. I want people to think for themselves. Yeah, okay, this movie is a blockbuster movie. It's a Hollywood, type thing. I don't even care who's behind it in regards to production company, because it's never going to be a me and you independent movie that comes out at this level. I understand that a lot of the people behind this in the movie companies, we look at the likes of Weinstein, we look at all the pedophiles and the child abuse that goes on within Hollywood and the movies. It's there, and there's been plenty of people trying to put this out over the years, which many of you have just ignored, don't want to hear it. So what I'm hoping for this movie now coming out is that it does trigger things in people, and people do start asking questions. But if people continue to question something like this and want to know more behind the movie to expose it, you're going down rabbit holes that you don't need to go down. And it will drive you absolutely insane. Oh, look at this. This director behind this is involved with this, and the actor that's in it has seen with one hand over the eye. Somebody will probably just take a fucking screenshot of me doing this right now and say, oh, look, Chris from the Atlantic Underground podcast, he's one of them. Here's a photo of him with his hand over his eye, doing a one eye thing or a hand gesture or whatever it is. Let it go, people. For fuck's sake, let it go. What we need to do is focus on what we can do. We need to focus on what is important. We need to focus on shedding light on the real things around the world that we can actually do things about. Somebody said to me, oh, well, this is all exposing, this, the people behind it are the child traffickers. It's hypocritical of what's going on. Yeah, I grasp that. I know how corrupt the world is. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't go and watch it, and it doesn't mean it shouldn't be out there to trigger those out there. Because let's face it, at the end of the day, if we didn't deal with any companies or have anything to do with what's going on in the world in regards to these corporations that have power and control over us, we wouldn't do anything. And we wouldn't do anything for one reason, because the likes of BlackRock and Vanguard touch every corporation around the world. And this is headed up by the central banking systems that fund and feed this. It's a pyramid. It's no joke. It is a top-down system. And we can understand that and we can know that. But at the end of the day, the one thing we need to do is focus our attention on what's right, what our purpose is in this, where we play our part and what we can do. Stop muddying the waters. We do not need to muddy the waters, because muddying the waters just makes it very difficult for us to all focus and see what we're doing. You've got to learn how far to go. As I said earlier, it will drive you insane. I've had people come to me saying, oh, there's symbols in this, there's numbers in this, and these numbers mean this, and this matches this, and that's a code for this, or it's a code for that. Maybe we are living in a matrix. Maybe this is a program or a code. But wouldn't that be far more important for you to focus on? Right now, the best thing you can do in life is focus upon yourself. Focus upon what you think your mission in life is. Find out who you are, find out your true self, and apply that to you. And you're not being selfish, because finding who you are and making a difference in the world will make a difference to others. Do not get wrapped up in so much of the bullshit out there. And yes, there are conspiracy theories out there, and not every one of them is true. And where do you think a lot of these come from? It's like news organizations that want to sow the seed and put things out there just to confuse people and send them off on the wrong path. If all your mental energy is going into things which you can spend hours every day watching, reading and looking at, and at the end of the day, you're none the wiser, you're further down a rabbit hole and you're more confused, you are on the wrong path. People have, I have never seen are coming out the woodwork. I'm getting sent videos and I'm thinking, who's this? Who's this person? Who are they? And they're there telling me what's happening in the world. They're telling me what's going on in the world without any factual base, without anything to support what they are saying. I believe that we question everything and we believe nothing. Don't just send stuff out there because it sounds scary and interesting and captures people's imagination. Before you do anything, do your research. Think to yourself, do people really need to hear this and see this? We can filter through the bullshit that's out there. We can stop things that will distract us and take us away from our true goals here. I want people to find themselves. Please find yourself. Know what your purpose is. Understand it. Think for yourselves. As far as this movie is concerned, The Sound of Freedom, let it go out there. Let people see it. Let's see how it touches lives and let's see how it changes things. And once people want to find out more and start asking questions about why, what and how this can happen in the world around us, how it can become an even bigger financial trade than the drug trade of the world, then the likes of me and you can be there to help them find the answers and put them on the right path, and not be led away by a Pied Piper who we've never seen before, pumping out information that is there to deceive people. The last few years has been an absolute awakening process for people. But unfortunately, the information that's going to a lot of people is putting them back to sleep again, because they're being led down a path that they do not need to go down. It's time to regroup everyone. It's time to focus on what's important. Don't use this kind of information that's being pumped out and put in front of you as entertainment. There's nothing entertaining about it. It's absolutely destructive to your life. Be careful what you watch, be careful what you see, and be careful what you spread out around there. I've taken a step back from a lot of interviews. I've taken a point where there's things that I don't want to discuss with people anymore, because it's not going to make any difference in a saturated system that's out there. Waking up is difficult and it's hard. And I understand that we reach out to try and make things different in the world and we try to understand it. Just take a step back. Don't dive in so deep. Take it one step at a time. We will make a difference in the world, but we need to find ourselves and we need to find our true purpose in what we're doing. Keep watching the videos. I've got some great stuff coming up, stuff that isn't going to lead you astray. It's time to focus. It's time to be everything that we can be, people. So take care and talk soon. Thank you.